Welcome to the Pineapple Pinup, the Hot Wife Life podcast. On today's episode, I talk about grooming. I then I talk about what's in store for season 2. Very excited about that. And I talk about my friends over at privateadventures.net. Um, thank you so much for tuning in for season 1, and I can't wait to get started on season 2. Grooming. It is so different for everybody. And there's a biological reason for pubic hair. Um, each one of those hairs represents a follicle that represents a nerve ending that when you kind of sift through the pubic hair, kind of stimulates all of that. And that hair is actually designed to hold on to your pheromones so that it will increase your partner's desire. And it is all of that smell and all of that nerve ending and all of that hair is supposed to increase your natural physical desire in a lot of different ways. That being said, I wax. I am a larger woman and I have a lot of concerns about, errant smells because of the fact that, I'm a woman and we're trained not to smell like anything other than product. So for me, it is a choice that just makes everything cleaner, smoother. And I really like the feel of the smoothness of my skin, especially right after a wax. It's amazing. That being said, there is all types of grooming out there, and nothing is wrong with any of it. If you're full natural 70s bush, good on ya. It's about how you feel with your body. Okay. It's about how you feel when you expose yourself to potential strangers. Like when you're in a situation where you feel like you could be judged, how do you feel? So for me personally, I enjoy hardwoods. I am down with it. I don't need any carpeting to match any drapery. And my hair has been dyed since I was 23, almost consistently, because I started going gray at 23. And so I do not fuck around. I'm sorry, but no, just dye that shit. Let's be done. So my carpeting would never match any drapery. But there is no such thing as a specific way that you should approach the lifestyle. The lifestyle should be approached with however you feel authentically you. So if that means cute little landing strip, if that means, a little trim around the bikini line, whatever it takes to make you feel like you are prepared and ready to go is all you need. Now, let's talk about men. There is a fine line between, like, for example, if you shave your balls, there is that moment when your balls get a 5 o'clock shadow. And anyone who is trying to give you a blowjob is risking a staph infection from all the scratching on their face. It is be very aware of what state your balls are in when you go to have fun. check and make sure that you're not stubbly, because stubble is one of the main ways that you get your face all scratched up. And I actually had a friend when I was a kid who got a staph infection on her face from making out with somebody who had a beard. So it makes me giggle when beard burn turns to something really horrific. It's like, it's not cool, but like, it's kind of, and if you're getting that from a blowjob, I mean, come on, Um, but here's the thing. Men don't really like have a standard that they are supposed to meet like women do. Women, there's a lot of expectations about our grooming, vajazzling, whatever. And there are not that many expectations on men. We are getting more aware of them, and there are more personal shavers that are coming out on the market that are basically telling men, come on, you gotta step up your game a little bit here. That being said, it isn't about what the world says, okay? It isn't about, what you see on TV. It isn't about what you see on Instagram. It isn't about any of that. It's about what you see when you're looking in the mirror, what you see when you take off your clothes. Because I don't care what anybody says. There's a there's somebody for that tea, okay? And there's no such thing. Like, it's legit, there's no such thing as something so egregious. I mean, let's be clean, okay? Because, yes, a heavy smell will, of course, scare any woman away. But you, there's no, like, coverage down there that's going to be like, oh, no, I couldn't. I mean, unless you can't find it for the jungle thicket, but whatever. Like, honestly, it's about how you feel with your body at the end of the day. And that is why it is such a personal choice how you groom. And I don't think anybody judges anybody else on how they groom. There are people who really enjoy a certain look. And when it is a one-on-one situation, you can make that request. You can say, hey, I really like it smooth down there. I like it to look Barbie doll-esque. And that's okay. That's something that you guys can talk about together. But in a party scene, nobody should have any expectations about the level of hair length or growth or whatnot that's going on in your private region. Now, that does not mean that everybody's going to want to play with you if you have, crazy 70s braided, beehive. I but at the same time, that might be interesting to somebody. At the end of the day, though, grooming is just like consent. It starts from within. It starts from what you like. I like the no nonsense feeling of taking off my clothes and being like, everything's showered and buffed and smoothed and shined and we're good. I'm good. I'm done. That to me is much more relaxing. But that's what you're looking for. You need something that's going to make you feel comfortable from jump. If you feel terribly exposed from having a Brazilian, then definitely go with something that gives you a little bit more coverage. A pube toupee, if you will. There is something that is so personal about your own grooming that there's no such thing as like the right way to do it. Okay. That being said, let's talk about our options. Okay. So the landing strip has always been something that I've been very curious about because I've never been able to do a landing strip because I'm always like, how wide is this landing strip supposed to be? If I am trying to land 747s on the runway or, 10, 20, 40s, I don't know. If I'm trying to land something really big on the runway, how big should the landing strip be? And what constitutes a landing strip versus a bikini line? What is the difference there? Where is the measurement and where do you do the cutoff? Because there are some that are like you could have drawn it on with an eyeliner pencil. Some are like, you know, the width of a matchbook. But like I've never been able to get the dimensions to something I could understand. It wasn't like somebody drew a map and said, shave here. So for me, the landing strip was never really, really an option. Don't know how to do a landing strip. And therefore, because I can't do a landing strip, it's not something that was ever really an opportunity or option for me. Now, I have done a bikini line before, but it was always with shaving. And shaving was it was tricky because you get shave bumps, and a shave bump right in the crease is the worst. But when I started waxing, I was like, just take it all. There's no sense in us fucking around. Just take it all. And I have to admit, I am very religious about getting my waxing. I get it done every single month, and the regrowths get thinner and thinner, and I get less and less regrowth every single time. And I love it. I mean, personally, that works for me. I love it because everything just feels smooth and soft, and I don't have to worry about people getting beard burn when they're down there. Because it's always a concern. I don't know if you guys know this, but women can give you beard burn too. Like, when you're serious, like, honestly, I worry about things like that. I worry about what my grooming is doing to another person. So, unless you're shaving like half an hour before, you're getting regrowth down there. Now, there are important things to know about waxing. Okay. Don't ever play within 24 hours of getting, within 24 hours of getting a wax. Because basically what they do is when they tear out that hair, it opens up those follicles and makes them more susceptible to things like bacteria and other people's like germs. And you don't want that kind of activity going on in that region, because I've heard some horror stories about people who have gotten infections after a wax because they didn't wait long enough to to play. It is very important that you take precautions when it comes to your health. Okay. When it comes to things that you could be exposed to, bacterias, whatnot, you need to take all of that very seriously, because there's nothing that's going to sideline you quicker than being laid up with an infection of some sort. So, um, keep that in mind. Now, men, I know that waxing, shaving, whatnot is kind of that's a kind of a huge commitment. Trimming, not so much, but waxing and shaving is a huge commitment. And I honestly do not know what that would feel like. I personally have gotten to the point where I really actually like the feel of the wax. There's a sharp pain, and then there's just this like warm heat. And that, to me, like, it's the dual sides. It's the pain and the pleasure. And I really enjoy it. I find it very relaxing and very comforting. And of course, the waxer's always like chit-chatting and whatnot, but I just I personally I love it. Um, so there is to recap, there's no such thing as the right way to do anything, but whatever makes you feel most comfortable. And that being said, make sure that you are not if you do shave, if you do, make sure that you're doing it at a close enough interval that there's not going to be a lot of scratchy. Because believe me, I have gotten some crazy, like, r- rashy scratches from going down on people who have been shaved, and the shave was like a couple days old and it was straight beard burn right there on your lip. But that being said, just keep it in mind. Um, be comfortable in how you present yourself. So Valentine's Day is coming up, and I am super excited about Valentine's Day this year. Our schedule this month is packed. I mean, I've got 2 hotel parties and actually 3 hotel parties. One is a party at a hotel, one is a hotel floor takeover, and one is a hotel takeover. And I'm really excited about going to all 3 of them. There are we are not going to be staying at the hotel party, the hotel floor takeover, because it is a 2-night event, but we're gonna go and come home and then go and then come home. Um, the hotel party is just like a few hours, so that one will just go and come back. But we are staying over at the hotel takeover, and I am very excited about this. I'm very excited about the opportunity to run away in the middle of the month with my husband for a couple of days and leave kind of all of our worries behind. This Valentine's Day is going to not be really personal. It's going to be very activitied, but it's not going to be really personal. So I am working on a present for my husband that I'm trying to, I don't know, pull together. And I don't really know how to pull it together because I don't think I'm going to be able to get it done by Valentine's Day. So it may end up being a birthday present. He listens to this, so I'm not going to go into real detail. But I'm kind of excited because I have all of these very creative projects that I have going on that are really sparking my interest in reliving what it is that we've done. I am currently trying to locate some photographs of my first time at the glory hole, because my husband got some really great shots of my hair. My hair looked fantastic. Um, it was, I don't even know why it looked so great, but it really looked great. And and because I'm traveling back in time with all of this stuff, it is really starting to put together a timeline for me. So the first time we went to a glory hole was October of 2022. That feels like a lifetime ago. So, and I will say that the glory hole is kind of what truly sparked our playing as a couple. Before that, I had done the one hotel thing without him, but the glory hole was kind of eased us into him seeing what was going on and not just getting a description of it, because he at that point hadn't recorded anything, and we hadn't really there wasn't a lot of visual evidence of what was going on. It was literally, I could have been sitting in a hotel room by myself and just told him I met somebody, but the glory hole, so he still had that plausible deniability, is all I'm saying. But the glory hole was something that it was happening right there in his face, and he was enthralled by it. I mean, it was awesome. And he was so hard. And he was watching me do this act on somebody. We had no idea who was on the other side of that wall. No idea. And it was probably the first moment that I realized that my husband was truly going to be okay with all of this, because he was beyond. Um, I don't know that our sex life had ever been better than that moment. It's gotten better since then. And believe me, my sex life with my husband has never been bad, ever. It has never been something where I was unfulfilled. My husband has multitudes of ways to get me where I'm going. But the watching the act, having that jealousy, pleasure neuron thing, having that pain pleasure dichotomy going on, for him, elevated everything, elevated all of it. And that has been, for me, eye-opening. It's been amazing. And the two of us have gotten to the point where we are so in sync with that, with each other, because we went through that, talked about it, found out what it was that was driving the other person, and it has just exponentially grown since then. That first foray and walking back to down that memory lane has been so intriguing. So it's like nostalgia, but it's not, because I have learned my lesson about glory holes. They're really not 100% built for women. Um, and that's okay. I don't need to be like, it's just not something that really worked out for us, because you would show up, and if you didn't pre-plan and set people up to come with you, there was a very good chance that there was nothing that was going to happen. We have found our groove. We have found our niche. We have found that sweet spot in our play that has allowed us to create community and find play partners and introduce ourselves to a variety of people and create connections. And that has been insanely awesome. My husband socializing was one of the things that he never really did that before we got into the lifestyle. His sphere was very, very small. And the more we go and do these things, the wider his circle becomes. And that to me is a huge perk, a huge benefit, because he has people that he can talk to and he can joke around with and have fun with and have conversations with. And he doesn't have to be worried about saying something that's not going to be appropriate, because whatever, everybody there understands the lingo, the language, whatever. So this whole experience, this whole memory lane thing that I'm doing right now is incredible. And because of the fact that I am doing the memory lane, Season 2 is going to be a kind of a mixture of memory lane and what happens now. What's going on in the future. And because of the fact that this month is like crazy busy, I'm going to have a lot of stories to tell. And because I'm going to have a lot of stories to tell, I am so excited. I'm so excited about this new season. And I am so grateful that everybody has I ended up pretty high on a couple of couple of podcast lists and for personal journaling. And that is because all of you listen, and I am so incredibly grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm hoping this season we can crack the top 10 because I got right there. I got to number 12 this year, and I thank you. Seriously, thank you so much for listening and just participating in my journey, because I know that this is kind of a weird setup, but I feel like giving this information out there might give a sex positive message to other BBWs and give them the courage to take a leap, do a thing, be adventurous. Anyway, thank you so much for listening, and I really hope that this year I can top what I did last year. Valentine's Day is approaching very, very fast. And if you haven't gotten a gift for your special someone or yourself, head over to privateadventures.net. They have toys and products and gift ideas for anyone in your life who you want to be intimate and happy with. And that includes you. So get yourself something while you're there. If you would like to support the show, you can use the promo code Pineapple Pinup 10, and part of that will be donated to the show. Privateadventures.net is a great place to explore some new ideas. If you are looking for a little bit of spice, that's a great place to go and find it. Privateadventures.net, promo code Pineapple Pinup 10. Let them know I sent you. Thank you for joining me today on the Pineapple Pinup, the Hot Wife Life podcast. If you would like to get in touch with me, all of my socials are listed in my show description, but you can always hit me up at pineapplepinuppod@gmail.com, and we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. And I look forward to hearing from you.